Hey guys, and welcome back to the Courageous Nerd YouTube channel for another interview. I'm Connor, and joining me today is actor Jesse Hutch to chat all about his role as Russell Tavaroff on the second season of Batwoman on the CW, as well as his wider career to date. If you enjoyed this interview or the others on the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. So welcome, Jesse, and thanks for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you for having me.
For
Good
sure.
to see you.
Yeah, and I guess congrats to you on landing the role of Russell Tavaroff on Batwoman. And had you seen season 1 before being cast?
I've only seen a little bit of it, but
Right.
did I see every episode? No.
Right.
There's so much to watch, and to be honest, I have 3 kids. They're quite young, and so if my wife and I schedule time to watch something, it's usually quite specific and last moment.
Yeah, and I suppose because like you've come in on the season where there's a new Batwoman, so like did it feel like you were coming in on a second season show, or because there was a new lead, did it feel like it was kind of starting over?
No, not at all for me. Not from my perspective. Felt like the crew and cast were working together for years. Everybody gelled quite nicely, and so by the time I arrived, I mean they were already into the season as well. So it felt quite natural.
Yeah, and I suppose obviously as well there is this new Batwoman, but your character has ties to like I say former Batwoman, you know, kind of ties to her family, I suppose. But how would you describe your character's role in season 2, though, for anyone who's unfamiliar?
Well, Agent Tavaroff is a Crow's agent. I'm not sure where viewers are in the scope of watching the series, but things have happened. I won't mention any of those. You'll watch the show and you'll catch on. But yeah, he's a Crow's agent, and he's married to his job. He's extremely insensitive. Doesn't really care what people think or feel. I think he's more focused on what he believes is the right thing to do in his job. And if you get in his way, he will find another way around.
Yeah. And I suppose like there's a kind of like commonality, like comic book projects are kind of in secrecy. You don't really know much about them when you're auditioning. Like, was that the case for you with this, or did you know like a lot of what you would be playing if you got the part?
I had a very small idea. I mean, I Googled it, of course.
Yeah.
And then I saw things that came up, and I was like, okay, is this actually me? Is this for real? Is this where we're going? I have no idea. So it was kind of exciting in the way that I was intrigued by the prospect of going where the comics take this character. But as far as the TV series goes, I didn't really know what. And it's still kind of like that. It's still just very fluid, and you just read the scripts as they come in, and you take that dialogue to the table and you do your best work.
And actually, this isn't your first experience even in like this wider Arrowverse franchise, because I know you appeared on Arrow a few years ago. But like, I suppose, are there any like commonalities on being on like shows in the same like fictional universe?
It feels new to me, just because it is a different character.
Yeah.
I'm at a different point in my life, right? I mean, the last time I worked on Arrow, I mean, you know, how many kids did I have? There was definitely less than what I have now. It was so I'm at a totally different age and stage, if I can call it that, of my personal life. And so everything kind of feels new and different anyway, because, you know, my kids are older now, and my wife and I have kind of different dreams and goals in our life. And so now to join Batwoman and sort of bring that into our life, and we get to bring our life into Gotham City, so to speak. It's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah, and I suppose like outside of that whole like franchise, you've kind of worked extensively in like sci-fi, fantasy. I mean, just to throw out some that you've been on, I know like Smallville, Kyle XY, Once Upon a Time, but like, do any like of those experiences, maybe one I didn't mention, like stand out in your mind at all?
I have always been I'm just so thankful. I mean, I look back and I see these different jobs, and I think about them, and it's just been a really great trip. I mean, I think you always need to enjoy where you are, be content. I'm not saying now that's different than not achieving your goals yet, right? Like I still have career goals. I still, I still have marital goals. I have goals with my children. All those things aside, I think that there's something really amazing about being able to be present where you're at. So right now it's Batwoman and just being present, showing up, doing my best work, and just really enjoying the people that are part of that, rather than trying to think of what's next so quick. I mean, you still have that in the back of your mind, right?
Yeah.
But I think you need to just rest in where you are and work hard. And so for me, reflecting back on my career, even some of those names you mentioned, I mean, I haven't thought of those projects in a while. And so you sit and you go, Smallville, like, wow, what a time in my career that was. And it was a great experience. And I was at a different level of understanding of myself, the business. I had different, I had less experience, and so there's always room for growth. And so I look back and I go, that was a stepping stone to where I am now. And I'm very appreciative of it. Could I have been here without it? I don't know. Right. Because then you get into this crazy, almost sci-fi game where you're like, it's almost like the butterfly effect, that movie, which I was in, but it's like, what affects your career? What did you learn? If you were to remove one experience or memory from your life, would everything be messed up?
Or one meeting with someone?
I don't know.
Yeah, and actually, it's an interesting thing because I think a lot of those projects would have common fans in that similar kind of interest, because some of those I knew that was you, and some of them I was doing the research, I'm like, oh yeah, of course that was him, But have you ever had that experience of someone realizing years later that you were in something like that?
Definitely, yeah. I'll always get comments on social media or just people going, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize that was him. Like, I love that movie. I saw it years ago. I didn't even put two and two together.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of cool, because I'd like to be a performer who can move around and kind of not just be like the one guy, right? It's like, oh, that's Jesse Hutch. He's the guy who always does this,
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. Maybe some people are like, well, I saw you on Batwoman in Gotham City, and then other people will be like, didn't I see you in some rom-com or something? And then they'll be like, wait, I saw you in that sci-fi. Didn't you have fangs and you were prosthetics and you were in some crazy fight scene? I love it. I think that it's exciting to change it up. And I love when people are surprised and they just go, whoa, I thought Jesse was like the romantic comedy guy. And now here he is in this action sequence fighting people and have fun.
Yeah. And I suppose thinking of people who were starting out in their acting career, do you think there's something that people are surprised by, generally, or advice you would give, that maybe misconceptions kind of thing?
People that are surprised, in what way?
They might expect a certain thing, starting an acting career and end up, not panning out. Does that make sense? Kind of false hope or high expectation.
I've definitely witnessed that. I personally have probably given up 1,000 times in this business, but I've never quit.
Right.
And so I do like to tell people, you know what? You're going to go through seasons in your life and you're going to go through experiences and you might give up.
Yeah.
100 times, 600, 7,000, but don't quit. There's a difference there, right? I mean, if you give up, that means that something's hitting you. There's some kind of pressure. There's an outside circumstance that's causing an inward emotion or feeling. And so you need to deal with that. And then I find if you ever push through the hard stuff, there's always something better on the other side.
Right.
I mean, if, and there's varying degrees of hard stuff in people's life. And so whatever is hard for you right now, maybe it's career, maybe you lost a loved one, maybe you're just having financial troubles right now, maybe your health, I don't know, there's a lot of options, of course, for stress and hard times. But I guarantee you, if you don't quit, if you don't give up, right, then you'll come through it. I mean, there will be something for you to learn. You will be different. I've never seen anyone go through anything hard and come out the other side, I'm exactly the same. No, something will change. As far as I think people like for example, in this business, on the other question that you kind of asked,
Yeah.
I think people are always surprised at what I'm like as a person compared to what some of the characters that I play might be.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see that a lot of people will see a character on TV and then they just think you're like that.
Yeah.
So Agent Tavaroff is like, most people don't like him. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Or they love to hate him.
Right.
And in real life, I don't do those things, right? I don't like go after people like that. I mean, and so a lot of people I think are kind of surprised sometimes, and they're like, "Oh, I thought you would have been a complete jerk."
And I think that kind of happens on all ends of the spectrum. Like even if you were like a super like positive person, they'd be like, "Oh, you seem quite miserable in real life. Like, why aren't you as upbeat like the character?" You know, I think that there's no winning. It's like no matter what you're playing, it's going to happen. Yeah, and I suppose then, like outside of Batwoman, have you got anything else coming up we're able to talk about?
I mean, as we say in the business, there's some irons in the fire.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing has been signed on the line yet, so it's not anything that I could announce per se. But I'm sort of enjoying a rest right now. Season 2 of Batwoman, we are completed. Season three will start soon, and so still in kind of talks and discussions of what the potential is moving forward. And I do have a few other projects that are potential. So I'm literally just like even today waiting, on my agent to kind of get back to me and let me know some more details of a potential job. And but yeah, I mean, there's always something happening, right? Even if nothing's happening, there's something happening, or there's something you can do. And so my wife and I have just been discussing lately. I mean, the kids are off school soon, so what do we want to get into for the summer with the kids, and what kind of experiences do we want them to have? And then with my work, what's the balance of that, right? Is it worth doing this job, and why? Or should we just pass because we want to take some family time? Or can we do both at the same time? We definitely like to do things together. So if possible, I love when my family can kind of come with me, even though they're not on set necessarily.
Right.
If there's a way that we can all have an experience together, it's definitely worth fighting for.
Yeah, and I suppose like on that note of what you were saying of like, you've completed season 2 and like season 3 is, in the future, but I suppose like what would you tease about what's to come with Batwoman?
I mean, if anyone's looked at the actual comic books, then there's already a bit of a tease there as to what it could be.
Right.
But this season's not done airing yet, so you still gotta watch and play it out, see where it goes, right? I don't know if you've seen any trailers for this coming weekend's episode. I believe we are on number 17. I think episode 17 airs this weekend. And so, you can see some of the pictures. There's a photo with Agent Tavaroff in the same room as Black Mask. So what does that mean?
Right.
What is that going to bring about? I'm interested to see what the viewers think of what's coming next.
Yeah. Suppose like professionally or personally, what do you hope to accomplish with the rest of 2021?
Just drops the bomb question, hey?
I try.
You try. All right. What do you want to complete in 20? I feel like there's a lot of year left yet.
Yeah.
And so for me, as I mentioned earlier, I'm really working on being present where I am. So when I'm with my kids, just really be with my kids. When I'm with my wife, really be with my wife, because I can get caught up mentally in like, okay, I got to work on this audition, or like maybe this job's going to happen. Is it not going to happen? And I can kind of mentally remove myself from where I am physically. And it just sucks. Like you know what I mean? So I really just want to be where I am and enjoy where I am. And so, I mean, I'm realizing that just time and moments are very precious. And so our goals as a family is to really be with each other, enjoy each other, and then experience is good, right? We like to create experiences as a family. And so we're working on that. And if we can bring that and meld that into my career as well, which is extremely important, because I don't want my family to see me as like, well, there's dad over here, at work, and we have no idea what that's about. But when he's at home, we know him here.
Right.
And you can have two different personas, which is not cool. So really want to have the same. I mean, I want them to know dad, period. And it doesn't matter where dad is or what dad's doing. I think my family should know me. So hopefully that answers your question. It's more of a family, and then also just like loving people along the way. It's been a tough year on a lot of people, and I think that there's a lot of people that have been under a lot of stress or heartache or worry, fear, and I think it's so important to like tell jokes, laugh, make sure that you see people when you talk to them, and just take that moment, right? Like it doesn't matter where you are, even at if you're getting groceries, I mean, just read the name tag, say hi to so and so, and really connect, be present, be there, and and then go on. But I don't know, it's just I think people are important, so we need to find ways to take care of people, your people, the strangers you meet, the people you pass along the way. Just look out, because if you keep an eye out, you can see where maybe you can help, or maybe you can offer a smile or a word or a joke or a encouragement, whatever. Just do it, get it done.
And I think especially now of all times, it's a great sentiment. I think, and I think it's something that people could definitely use or have a lot more, with the times that we're in. So I'm definitely all for what you're saying. Absolutely. I think that's great. And and then I suppose then maybe to close this off, is there anything you'd want to say like to the fans of Batwoman, like as in terms of your experience and how you felt doing it so far?
I very, very much enjoy playing this character. I think villains are fantastic to play, and so I would thank everyone for coming along on the journey and sort of allowing me to be part of their weekly routine, maybe of watching this series. And I'm also very thankful that people love to hate this character, but hopefully don't hate me personally.
Right. Yeah.
There's been a lot of
messages.
A lot of messages of people like, guys, there's been some choice cuss words used to explain my character. And you know what? A part of me is okay with that, because if I'm able to play a role well enough and it brings out that emotion in you, then perhaps I'm doing my job well.
Right.
That's what I would hope for. On the other end, I hope that people realize that is not me personally. And I love and welcome everybody's comments. I think it's fantastic. So try to do my best to sort of respond online or any comments that people might have, and sort of get in there and chat back and forth.
For sure. And I suppose just to say like all the best with Batwoman going forward, and what you were saying, like with your family, like best of luck, and take care and stay safe.
Thank you. You too, Connor. As my mom would say, she was a truck driver for years and years. She'd say, just keep on trucking.
Right. That's definitely a new one. But thanks for taking the time, and all the best.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate your time.